Hi everyone.
Hello, welcome to the channel. Today is September 4th, and our entry for today is how can you know if you've never been tested? It begins with a quote by Seneca. I judge you unfortunate because you have never lived through misfortune. You have passed through life without an opponent. No one can ever know what you are capable of, not even you.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's almost like life feels challenging, but then also at the same time, it's like I constantly question. It's like, am I being challenged enough? Like, shouldn't I do like a lot more in here? You know what I mean? There's some of that, right? But then I can also look at it from the other point and like, oh, life's been hard and challenging, and of course I had opponents. But if I look at it from like the way he's talking about it, like you really never actually had an opponent. Like the opponents that you had were like friends who are trying to get the same thing that you did, right? So it's not really like a serious opponent, right? Like something like a war is like a serious opponent, right? Like something like life is on the line, generation is on the line, right? Like it's those kind of big things. It's like, yeah, a lot of us ultimately we consider our lives maybe hard, but like I hate to say it because like yeah, there's hard stuff in life, but like we can probably do a lot more than what we're like think that we're capable of or something, And we don't push ourselves, so who's gonna push us? Nobody's gonna push us. So we need to actually push ourselves. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Like like I'm capable of a lot more than I think I am. I like those I like to wear those glasses to look at it that way. Because it's like super like forward, like makes me want to like, oh yeah, I can, yeah, of course I can. Like it seems like it makes sense, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. For me, the misfortune part of this is like it's so easy to blame misfortune or to feel sorry for myself because of different misfortunes in life. And so he's really challenging me right now to like really change my relationship with misfortune so that I see it as a gateway to fulfilling my potential.
Yeah, because not yeah, it's like we want to go into like, oh, just dismiss those misfortunes. Like no, hard life was not so hard. It's super easy because um,
Because I
you
didn't
didn't
have
have
it
it
as
hard
hard.
as hard, right. Therefore dismiss all of your efforts that you've done so far and all of your hard things. But no, don't, let's not
Well,
dismiss them.
also, like, you can dismiss it hypothetically, but, like, that's one thing. But when you're in the moment of a misfortune, you're not able to dismiss it. So then now it's toggling back and forth between let me minimize it, let me dismiss it, and now I'm encountering a moment of misfortune and I'm not resilient enough to handle this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like, I really like looking at misfortune as a gateway to fulfilling potential. Because then it's like I can at least if it's not going to feel good. Misfortune never feels good. But if I can at least relate to it in a way where I'm like, although this does not feel good, I know it is good for me and that I will be a better person on the other side of this. And that my job right now is actually to see how I am supposed to change from this situation, even no matter how unfair I think the situation is or how much I think that somebody else needs to change. The person who actually needs to change is me. And I need to take this opportunity to change in the direction of my potential and not to change in the direction of being resentful, bitter, small, crippled, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to see what Ryan's got for us?
Sure. Most people who have gone through difficult periods in their life come to later wear those experiences as badges of honor. Those were the days, they might say, even though now they live in much better circumstances. To be young and hungry again, another might say wistfully. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, or I wouldn't change a thing about it. As tough as those periods were, they were ultimately formative experiences. They made those people who they are. There's another benefit of so-called misfortune. Having experienced and survived it, we walk away with a better understanding of our own capacity and inner strength. Passing a trial by fire is empowering because you know that in the future you can survive similar adversity. What does not kill me makes me stronger, Nietzsche said. So today, if things look like they might take a turn or your luck might change, why worry? This might be one of those formative experiences you will be grateful for later.
Yeah, that's interesting. The one thing was standing up is like the experiences makes us into who we are. But that's assuming that who we are is optimal and good, you know, if you will, right? But it's like, well, yeah, but some of these bad experiences can shape you who you are, and who you are might not be the most optimal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't hear him saying like it's only in the good way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's giving you examples of like very specific things of like people basically like making lemonade out of lemons, and then like overcoming all odds and like beating adversity. You know, he's like kind of giving you like the underdog story, but there's all kinds of, no matter what challenges we face, they will shape us. So how are they shaping us? Are they shaping us more in the direction of the person we want to become? Or are they shaping us deeper and deeper into the whole of the person that we have been up to this date?
Right.
And so for me, it's like more like catching it in the moment.
Or the shaping of it, right? Like when it is shaping us, we need to pay attention there because it's shaping us into something. And if we don't know what it is shaping us to, then it's like a toss-up. It might be like remembered as like, oh, this is that was a really hard and great experience. I learned a lot, and that's made me stronger today, right? But how it became this idea today that you actually appreciate it, how did that became that appreciation versus the God, I had a hard life is miserable, it's always been miserable and always will be miserable, right? Like, you know what I mean? Versus,
it's like, like I'm drilling this down to like literally in the moment that the challenge is happening, because you can see how it's shaping you in that moment.
In that moment.
What mental script am I running right now? Am I running an old familiar script that's all the types and ways of thinking that I've ran up to this point? Or am I taking a step outside of that, and maybe that script is running, but I have another degree of awareness on top of that that's breaking into that script and questioning it and coming up with maybe a better or just a different, it doesn't even matter if it's better. The important thing is that it's a different thing. I'm just running a different script, and I'm trying to slowly stop that first script from being this automatic thing that happens without me questioning it, that now turns into the snowball effect of me always reacting like this and always thinking this way about these types of situations.
Yeah. It feels like always, yeah. It seems like there is no other option, but...
Well, when something is that ingrained and that habitual,
then that's just,
it is always,
yeah.
unless I get the level of awareness that's coming in to poke into that and say, oh wait, hey, this is just one way that I could see the situation out of literally an infinite number of ways. Is this the way that is aligned with reality? Because most of the time it's not. Is this a way that's helpful to me and helpful to other people? Does this point of view like take in everybody's story, or is this just my specific story about this one person or this one situation from my limited point of view? Like that, if I'm running that, I will turn into that bittered person who's just like feeling victimized by life, by all of the challenges, because I never adapted from them and learned how to be like, oh no, that's not a big deal. And like literally the difference between something being a big deal and not a big deal is the script that I'm running in my head.
Yeah.
And so like I'm really taking from this like the awareness of like when I notice these scripts happening, which I am noticing more of them, like just being aware that it's going on while it's going on, of like, oh, like, yeah, this is a thought. Oh yeah, like this feels normal. It feels like everybody, this is just how human brains are. Like that's how normal this feels. However, doesn't pass any of those tests. And even like if I don't know an alternate way of dealing with it, just the awareness in and of itself makes me feel less like emotionally attached to the whole situation.
Yeah, that was a good one today. Cool.
For sure.
All right.
Alrighty, my friend, thank you for joining us today, and we will wrap it up, and we'll see you here tomorrow.